Hello, and welcome to Alcohol Free Radio. I'm your host, Chris Becker, and I'm excited to have you join us. Whether you are new to the amazing and growing alcohol-free community, or someone who is already familiar, we hope you enjoy our program. This is where you can hear from some people making a real difference, whether as brewers and creators of amazing beverages, influencers in the community, retailers, authors, storytellers, and more. You'll be hearing from some amazing people, and hopefully learn some new things about the growing world of alcohol-free. We will be using a few segment formats and hosts as we aim to break it down and bring it all together. Our goal is simple: to build awareness about this great community and help make alcohol-free fun, easy, and tasting great. So here we go. Enjoy. Hey everybody, welcome to this upcoming episode of Alcohol Free Radio. We are going to be speaking with Rachel Molenda, who is a DJ RAE, and also the founder of a pretty interesting, I'm really excited to hear more about this, an alcohol-free dance party in my hometown of Toronto called REUNIon. So we're going to dive in and really kind of get a sense of that intersection of, celebration and party, but also the alcohol-free movement. So I really think you're going to enjoy this one. Take care. Hey everybody, welcome to Alcohol Free Radio. This is an episode that is a little different than some of the others, but in that way I think you're going to enjoy it. We're going to be talking to Rachel Molenda, who is a professional DJ RAE, but also the founder of an alcohol-free dance party in Toronto called REUNIon. So I am loving the idea of getting into this and how it intersects with what we usually talk about, which is alcohol-free. So welcome, Rachel.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to chat.
Yeah, I was really excited when we were able to connect through a mutual friend in an entrepreneur group I'm in part of called, shout out to Wayfinders and Mike Bursick for his awesome networking and his awesome network. And it is Toronto based, although folks from other cities like me are a part of it. And she introduced, she knows what I do, and said it would be interesting for us to connect. And I know we had a quick chat, and it's interesting. I don't know to really the same extent in my travels in this category, seeing something as mature, as sophisticated as what you're doing. There's some areas. So before we dive into that, which, I've got a million questions, but kind of give everybody a bit of a background in terms of, what did you do before and what brought you and kind of got you interested in the alcohol-free movement and dance movement.
Yeah. So prior to REUNIon and DJing, I wasn't really doing any of those things. So my path is in personal development. So I was a nutritionist turned intuitive eating coach turned mindset coach for the past 8 years. So most of my work was personal development. And then 3 years ago in my early 30s, I went to my first ever rave, and I left feeling so inspired, so alive, and so myself. And it felt like this dirty little secret at the time, and like this just huge oxymoron, because I was like this proper mindset coach on Zoom during the week, and then I was like crawling into bed at 4 a.m. on the weekends. And I was like, what the hell? Like, if people know this about me, they're not going to take me seriously. I had all these stories about it. But the thing is, I never felt like I was partying. Like, I felt like I was just going to remember who I was. Like, I would leave feeling so inspired in myself. And like, I was like, life is good. I got this. I would get all these business ideas on the dance floor. And so I slowly started weaving it into my life, like just through like my Instagram stories. I would do this story to start the day that said like good morning, and I would share a song and I would like dance to it. And people were like, oh my God, this makes my day when I see this. Like, you should throw a dance party. This was like after doing those stories for like a year. People are like, you should throw a dance party. So, and I was getting curious about DJing at the same time. And I mentioned that to a friend, and he's like, oh, I have an old DJ controller I'm not using. You can borrow it. And I was like, oh, cool. And so I borrowed it, didn't touch it for 3 months. I think I maybe picked it up once, and I was like, this is hard. I don't want to do it. And then he asked for it back, and I was like, frick, like I haven't even touched it. So at that moment, I was like, okay, I know in the mindset world, we say that in order to bring a dream or a goal to life, you need to do two things. You need to put a date to it, and you need to tell someone. So I ended up buying that DJ controller from him, and I told the world. It was Christmas Day, 2023. And I was like, world, like I am throwing a dance party in 30 days. And to force myself to learn how to DJ, I'm going to DJ it. And then I basically spent the next 30 days in what I call like a washing machine of just like, being turned upside down, like learning everything that I had to know about in-person events, because my whole business up until then was completely online. And it's a completely different experience, like serving people in an in-person environment. So learning that, learning sound, learning DJing, and thankfully I did it.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. I had 30 people show up. And actually, our mutual friend that introduced us, Alyssa Kerbal, she was part of that. She was part of that puzzle. We met in the other ship sauna and both connected over our love for dance. And she's like, "Well, I just rented a space. Like, I have a space we could do it." I was like, "Great."
I've been there. It's an awesome space.
Yeah. It's no longer, but I believe that. I mean, I think it came about for a number of reasons, but I honestly feel like it came in to be like the mother of reunion, to like bring reunion to life, and then like it went on, and now Alyssa's doing her other thing. So yeah, I did that, and then it was such a hit, and I was like, "Do you guys want to do that again?" And they're like, "Yeah." So I pumped out another one. We sold that at we like doubled the capacity from 30 to 60, and we sold that out in like 24 hours. And basically, that momentum didn't stop all of last year, all of 2024. I ended up doing 50 DJ gigs between reunion and weddings and PR events. We did over 12 reunions. We took it on a mini tour to Niagara, Collingwood, Winnipeg. And then fast forward to Christmas, December 2024, I was like, world, I'm going to do it again. This time we're going to throw a 400-person dance party. And we did that. And so basically I was like, all right, we've got some product market fit. People, the women want to dance. And we just get like the feedback from people coming to these events it still amazes me, even though I'm not surprised, because I'm like, I know, like this is what I felt too when I was on the dance floor, and now other women are experiencing it. And yeah, here we are.
So what is in it? So that's amazing. And it's fascinating in terms of, like you said, product market fit, like you're obviously connecting. What do you think are those connect points? What's resonating? What's getting through to people that really create that kind of connection and interest?
I think the woman-only aspect is huge, which is interesting because there are woman-only spaces. There's women circles, there's women-focused events, but woman-only dance environments, I don't really know of any like that. Right. And what I've heard from our attendees is that a lot of these women, they love dancing, or they used to love dancing, but they had to put it aside. Like they used to love going out, and now they're like, oh, I'm in my 30s or 40s. Like, can I still go out, or where do I go out? Or where do I go out without being hit on? And that's like a big thing too. And the women only aspect creates a safe space where women can just truly let go, truly be themselves, dance however they want. They can be sexy and not feel like they are going to get hit on, or it's like performative. They can be weird and not be afraid of being judged. So I think that aspect is huge. We've definitely made a mark in the like sober curious community. Like I think just as the years pass by, like less people are drinking, and like myself included. And I want to say, like, I'm not sober myself. Like I still like admit that like I enjoy the odd glass of wine and like a Negroni from time to time. And I had a bit of a like identity crisis about that at first. I was like, how can I be the founder of an alcohol-free movement and be celebrating with a Negroni? And my take on that is that like we don't have to fit into a box. And then also with reunion specifically, my goal, like with reunion, I'm not saying everyone has to be alcohol and substance free, like everyone has to live in this way. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying let's create a space where people can discover the power within themselves when it's just music, it's just dancing, and just women.
Okay.
And there's something really powerful with that. And so I think the more people experience that, the more they do feel less reliant on substances or things in their other parts of their life to sort of like get by.
Yeah, and I think just kind of that aligns with certainly our customers, whether they're coming to buy products on Better Roads or wherever. Most of the growth in the category is for people that are trying to fit or have more choices for non-alcohol options, but still like to enjoy alcohol if they choose to, or whatever other substance is out there. So that's very much in line with a lot of what we hear and see kind of out there. And I think you're right. It gives people, instead of feeling like and the focus is on something you're not doing, you're actually focusing on what you are doing, and it just happens that it's a better alternative, or it complements not drinking more easily. But with that, because we kind of jumped, like there was the female aspect, it's a dance party. What was the alcohol-free component always there from the beginning, or did it just kind of make sense and you blended it in, or?
Yeah, like admittedly, like the initial reason was because I didn't want to get a liquor license. I was like, I don't want to think about
Very
selling
practical.
alcohol. Like,
Yeah.
I'll just get like bring your water bottles. Let's just drink water. Like, I don't want to do alcohol at these events. And then it just became a thing. Like it became, and it was a part of it. Like even when I would go to raves, like I was like hardly drinking alcohol, and yet like still feeling like so alive.
Okay, cool. And then what's been the response on that aspect? Do you find, so, you were talking about the connection in terms of feeling safe, being in an open environment, being yourself, the music, loving to dance, loving the music. Do people feel the same about the alcohol-free aspect, or is it like, does it resonate as much, or is it change the?
I think when people who are already sober, when they come across it, they're like so relieved.
Perfect.
Like
Yeah.
they're so excited. They're like, oh my God, a place I can go to have fun that doesn't involve alcohol. Like there's not a lot of places like that. I think it's growing. And then I think the other conversation is there's like a neutrality, like people are okay either way. And then there's like like can I really get down without like having a drink before? And I've heard some people saying that they've taken shots before coming, and like if
Sure.
if people want to do what they want to do, I'm
like
in
you said
support of
before.
that. But I think what they discover very quickly is that it is such a safe environment, and just like the energy in the room when you first walk in, it's like like you feel it, and you don't really need it. So yeah, and then there's like this conversation that happens online that people see our videos from our events, and they're like, "Oh, cool, alcohol free," but everyone's blasted on drugs, and it's like, actually, no. And like, again, nothing against drugs, but like, it actually, that comment always makes me laugh, because I'm like, wow, we have such an idea that like in order to have to be this free, this liberated, you must be altered in some way, and it's like, actually, no. When all the conditions are set for you to discover that within yourself, it all just happens.
What, which is, I think, in and of itself liberating, or at least educational is the wrong word, but it gives people an idea that there are other ways, or kind of a third way. So you've built it, 20, 60, 400. How do you see this evolving? Is it just bigger and more, or are there ways that this type of experience, or even just connection, the ability to create this kind of space for women, is it in other formats? Like, is it dance? Like, I'm curious around where you see this going, either based upon the interaction you've had with people that have been at your events, or where you would like to take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely bigger, reaching more people. And like I imagine filling stadiums one day, like having this concert where we're like dancing to our remembering, bringing in huge DJs where like people might typically go see the specific DJ, like LPGOB or Carlita or Blondish. These are like some of my favorite women DJs. People usually go see them, but it's like instead they're coming to Reunion and experiencing their music in that setting, plus the Reunion programming. So there's that bigger scale. Also touring it around. So we're gonna tour it around. I just took it to Nova Scotia a couple weeks ago. We're gonna take it to Vancouver this fall, and then taking it to the US, taking it to Europe. We'll start there. Some people have been like, "Oh, you should consider licensing it," and I have to feel that doesn't feel like a hell yes yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, touring it around. I also see like an online community coaching platform coming back into it, so bringing back in my personal development-ness. Because again, like the idea is that people come to Reunion to remember who they are, and they leave with this feeling of clarity and confidence and courage to do the damn thing that they were born to do in this life. And so ideally, they're coming to Reunion to like forget who they're not, remember who they are, and then there's like this, again, coaching program or community platform to hold people in between the events, to guide them along their journey.
Yeah.
Again, and I think that's also why it's different than, say, just like a random night out, because there's a purpose behind it. It's like we're coming here to remember our purpose and remember why we're here, and remember those big dreams that we had, and feeling like they're possible again, and then being in community to make it happen. So again, seeing some sort of coaching platform in that way, retreats, merch line,
Right.
That's where we're at so far.
Yeah, because it's, listening to you talk, if I, in removing some of the kind of, the elements of rave and things like that, it reminds me less of certainly my rave days in the late 90s in Toronto, and more like what, the way you talk about it's more what I hear when talking to people about, it's almost like plant-based medicine when you're doing like a guided experience. And in the sense that you're kind of breaking down, you're looking at things in a different way, and you come out somewhat changed, more authentically who you are, to open yourself up to whatever comes next. It sounds more like that than it does, going out and partying for a night.
Totally. Yeah. And even the structure of Reunion supports that. So again, it's not just like come dance and leave whenever you want. Like another one of our sort of things is like be in bed before 11 p.m. because it's like done by 11 p.m. It's not an all-nighter. It acknowledges the fact that like, yes, we are grown women. We still want to have fun, but we also love our sleep. So it's a structured experience with programming starting from say 7:30 going to 10:30. Those hours change sometimes, but we start with an opening circle. I do like a little Tony Robbins bit of like why we're here. I usually bring in a opening facilitator to guide people through some like opening movement just to get comfortable in our bodies, get a little weird. And then the dance floor is open. People can dance. We bring in a few different DJs for different sounds. And then we close out with some sort of meditation or visualization. And then at the very end, we do group shares. So I'll run around with a mic and invite people to share anything that came up for them during the dance or anything that they've been carrying. And that's often like one of the most profound parts because that's when it's like all integrating and you just like, you're in that point of remembering and you're like, wow, I realize I haven't felt this alive in so long. Or I've been like carrying so much heaviness around some things we hear like fertility or relationships, parents that are growing older. And there's this feeling of like I feel less alone in what I'm going through. Like when you hear of someone else share and, you when we go around the world in our own heads, like we're like, oh my God, I'm the only one going through this. And then you open up and share or hear other people and you're like, okay, like I'm okay. I'm not this like disaster that I've made myself out to be in my mind.
Right. Well, and that's kind of where I was going. And I mean, without I'm using a corny corporate speak, but like success stories, but thinking about kind of what happens after, people coming back, the rave culture to the extent is the idea of creating community and togetherness and connection, to whatever extent. I would think, like, do people stay connected up? Do they come back? And, are people like, what happens after?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we do have a core group that they seem to come back all the time, like our reunion OGs. And then there's people that say come and go sort of thing. I would say that's probably like a weak point right now where we could afford to work on. Like we send out feedback forms of what you liked, what you didn't. We have a WhatsApp group where people can connect in between.
Yeah, like get together on their own or.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like friendship making that happens at Reunion and networking. Like again, when people do those shares, like they'll go and connect with each other after, or maybe people have a moment on the dance floor and they connect. But I think there's a way that we could facilitate that better.
Okay. Yeah, I would. And I mean, more events and if it's working in a place like Toronto, it can only be something that you would have to think would be of great interest, or you'd get a lot of response and connection in almost any other city, certainly in North America, if not all over the world. So that's really exciting. What about just kind of bring it back to it's hot, you're dancing. Is it like water or like, hey, this is non-alc? Is there interest in kind of having the non-alc lineups of things? Like in Toronto's actually surprisingly, it has a surprisingly large number of non-alc retailers, ones of, people and that I know. Is that a part of it, or people like, no, I'm good. This is like a dance event. I've got water.
Yeah, no, they're definitely interested in it. So we have a non-alcoholic bar.
Yeah.
We've played around with different drinks. So we played with
which ones do they like?
We they end up liking the one that we serve because it ends up being the only one we serve. But we started with Parch, which I think is like one of the most amazing non-alcoholic mocktail drinks. Like it's just, because I love cocktails that hurt, and my thing with mocktails is that they're usually just like straight sugar, and they're too sweet, and it's just not enjoyable. At parts, it's just like
Yeah.
it hurts in a way.
There's a
Even
lot
like
of curation in that drink and the ingredients. They've worked hard on that.
yeah, Barbette's another one, or Barbet, however you say that. The gingery spicy one, like I drink it and I cough. I'm like, oh, I love that. But what I found is that those ones, I mean, we end up having to sell them a bit more because just the wholesale's higher on them. And then I think I think that takes time for people to get used to as well. Like, oh, now I'm paying close, not what you're paying for an alcoholic
That's a
cocktail.
challenge in the whole industry. Yeah. So you're not
Yeah.
alone on that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I found that. And then I also found that because we've created this culture at Reunion where it is just about dancing, it's not about nursing a drink, that was another point of taking the alcohol out of it. It's like, I want people to not have anything in their hands, even a phone. Like we've done some of our events phone free, which I like, although it's nice. People love sharing, right? And
They want the content, yeah,
and their shares actually help us grow. So it's like it's a funny thing. But what I want to encourage at Reunion is to not need this liquid courage or this Band-Aid or this mask to like keep you safe. Yeah, crutch. And I feel like that's what those like nice cocktails kind of promote, because you have to sit, like I can't chug a Parch, but I can chug a City Seltzer, which is like a seltzer drink. So now we bring in City Seltzer, which is like a really nice flavored water outside of it's from Ottawa. But yeah, we're open to like we're not entirely brand loyal. But we are in terms of we have our brands that we like, but like always open to working with other awesome brands, like especially as the industry grows. There's so many awesome products out there.
That's cool. You might get a few calls after this out there, because I'm sure your group is definitely also crosses over a lot of what we see in terms of interest in the space in general. In terms of, so next, you said the tour. Is there anything else you want to call out about what you guys are working on or what you plan to do in the coming year?
Yeah, I would say tour is the main thing. Like if you are in Vancouver, if you're in LA, if you're in Austin, New York, again, like nothing is set in stone yet, but that's what we have our eye on. We also have our eye on like London, England. We've had a lot of requests there. There's also been like a lot of like what I've seen, like this has been popping up a lot in Europe. So I think like we have great potential there. It's just a matter of like how to get started there.
Yeah.
So you can expect that. I'd say that's like, those are the more guaranteed things. And definitely merch. We're going to up our merch game.
That's awesome. How do people get in touch with you or stay connected or learn more about what you're working on?
Yeah, so I'm personally at Rachel Molenda on Instagram and TikTok. My website as well, rachelmolenda.com. And then Reunion is the Reunion Dance Party on Instagram, TikTok, and our website as well.
That is awesome. Rachel Molenda, thank you so much for your time talking about what you've really kind of created in terms of the space. It's unique, it's new. I hope it catches on and other people copy you, but also that you are able to blow it out yourself as well.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the time.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Alcohol Free Radio. We'd love to hear from you. Send us a message on social media or through email at hello@betterroads.com. Great to be here with you all together. Take care.